So I wanted to do some 200T stuff here from my buddy Tracy. Uh, www.masschainsawparts.com is live, as far as I know. Um, I am not. We're not. I'm gonna make an official announcement one of these days, and but whatever. If anybody wants 288 high top covers, they're on eBay. All you got to do is search for them, and I'm gonna bring you guys up here so that I can actually see and see chat and all that stuff. Not coming up yet. Hey Dennis, how you doing? We're gonna do some 200T bearings and whatnot today. Um, just waiting to see myself here. There it is. Okay. The good old 200T. Stanky. How's it? All right, here we go. Let's put this on low so that way I can see chat. And if anybody, kind of the point here, just so everybody knows, and Nikki, thank you for the email. The point of me doing all this stuff is not necessarily doing the instructional stuff. The point of this stuff is me having a good time with you guys. That's the point. And frankly, I've gotten to the point where I don't have a lot of time for this stuff. I'm working on one of the damn switches and cutting off. Ooh, the problem is inside that handle is complex. Can you try grounding it without the switch and see if it turns off? Yeah, yeah. So what you want to do is, I'm just coming up with an idea here, right? But here's a 200T handle, and there's a spade connector in here, and this goes to ground. So basically, when you turn this off, you're connecting that spade connector to ground. So what you do is the black wire that goes to this spade connector, pull that off, and if you connect it directly to ground, see if it shuts the machine off. Jumper it between the black wire, which is, I'm gonna have to go get it. I've got a black wire, but jumper the black wire directly to the chassis somewhere and see if it shuts it off. And if it does, then you know that the problem is in here somewhere. And I'm pretty sure I've taken this apart and shown how to do that somewhere in my videos. It's in there somewhere in the 800 videos that I got. Yeah, it's complicated in there. Sorry, it's not on the agenda for today. Unless you need it to be. Let's put it like that. If you need it to be on the agenda, we can work on it. Okay. But yeah, I wanted to. I'm not going for subscribers. Frankly, I don't care. I hope. I'm doing this for fun because I do these live. I do these lives. I get a kick out of it. I just do. I love hanging out with you guys. I love answering questions. I love doing this thing in real time. And you know what? I make mistakes in real time. Things go bad in real time. It's just what happens. Yeah, I have to choke it and let me know if you need some 200T. Well, I always like 200 parts, but I'm not always like 200 parts. You're welcome to shoot me an email. Let me put up my email so everybody has it. Get rid of the extra ampersands here. It's matty05@aol.com. And the O is letter O, not 0. But yeah, I'm not. I don't need to get to 100,000 subscribers. I was happy with 700 subscribers. I think I've got over 10,000 now. But that's not the point. The point is, I was trying to do trying to transfer what I've learned to you guys. That way I don't have to answer a zillion questions, in emails, or how do you do this, how do you do that? Well, it's all in the videos. But the idea is to help create. I'm part of people that create a repository of information so you guys can go to it and find out how I did it. And it's not necessarily how to do it, but it's what worked for me, and I've developed that over the years. And you guys, if you watch enough of the videos, you'll see how things develop and where I go wrong and where I go right. So I hope. So again, Nikki, thank you for the email on that, especially on that topic. And again, I could care less whether I make it to 100,000 or a million subscribers. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm having a fine time doing this. And the thing is that if I stop having a good time, the videos stop. If I lose ambition, this is a problem. So if we can keep having a good time, I'll keep doing the videos, and hopefully everybody can learn something. Me too. Me too. It's important. So, but what I did here, I've done these 200Ts, and I've been doing them and doing them a number of different ways. Simple stuff. Just do the simple stuff, guys. So I've got a piece of 5/8. This is actually a carriage bolt, could be threaded rod, whatever, and a washer on one side. And what I'm doing here is, this case has been split, obviously. The crank's out, but the idea here is I want to change out the bearings. So I've popped the seal out, and I'll show you guys how to do that here in a minute. Do I have any 390, 385 parts? Not much. I generally don't work on 385, 390s. I might have a few, but not very much of anything. I just don't work on 385, 390s. Those proprietary bearings drive me crazy. I can do them. I did one recently with Mason for his boss, actually, I think. His boss's son. But anyway, so I'll show you guys the seal in a minute. But the idea here is how do you get the bearings out? And all I'm going to do is just a piece of carriage bolt and a nut, a washer, a big washer here. And this just happens to be a 10 millimeter socket, deep socket. And if you make sure it's on center, you do it, just turn it. There's no heat or there's no heat involved here. There. No heat. You can heat this up if you want. You can heat this up and slap a new bearing in, and I may do that. I may show you guys that going forward. Because there's a number of ways to do this. The bearing just falls out. And this is buggered, so don't even, not my neighbor. Excuse me. Hey. No, I'm downstairs in the basement. I'm live on YouTube. Are you outside hanging out? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be out later. Later. Sorry, guys. My neighbor. Bring that back up. To live. Okay. So, anyway, here's what I do to pull these seals out. So these are Bakelite seals. They're actually plastic, effectively. It's the original plastic. Boop. Sometimes they break, sometimes they don't. What you don't want to do is you don't want to jam this in there and lift and then scratch the magnesium. That you don't want to do. This way. Okay. So again, you could do this with heat if you wanted to. I find this works just fine. Don't need to use heat. Now again, you can put the bearings in with heat if you want, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. And I'll show you how to do it without heat. There's lots of different ways to do this. The other thing is, what you want to do is you ideally observe the seals. That on the PTO side, there are these nubs, and the seal actually sits down flush against the nubs, not against the chassis. It's right on the nubs, and on the other side, it sits flush with the chassis. Little details that it's nice to know. Okay. So bearings in there. Start cranking down. Bearing comes right out. Pop, done. There we go. So I do recommend OEM bearings. I do not recommend the aftermarket stuff on these. I mean, it's too nice of a saw, you know. Let's take this back apart. I just stuck one bolt in here. There's M4. Just a one bolt to hold the whole thing together while I was doing this. Now what you do is get this cleaned up. Make sure it's clean. That way the new seals and everything go in right nice, you know. Again, so the point here is to have fun with you guys, and part of the fun is answering questions and chatting back and forth a little bit. You know what I mean? So if you guys got something, speak up. This is just a wire wheel and a Dremel. To make sure your impulse is clear. And generally, I do recommend using the OEM seals, but the only real way to use the OEM seals is to put them in, like I'm going to do now, with everything apart. Nice and clean. Good, good. Okay. Let's put some bearings in. I know I've got bearings here somewhere. brand new OEM Stihl bearings. Again, these are roller bearings, so they get pressed into the crankcase, but not the crank doesn't get pressed into them. The crank just slides in. So, German roller bearings. There's a nylon cage to it that I put out. Now I need my heat gun. You're going to have to bring this to some type of temperature. Now I'm going to, let's show both ways. They'll do it with heat here on this particular case half. And then on that one, I'll pull it in cold and see. Hey, Dennis, did you get my email back? You emailed me. Did you get it back? Right, you're down down under. If you got my email, the thing about Australia is shipping is pricey. It's about $40 to get in shipping just to get a toolkit down there. So if you want a regular toolkit, then it's like 180 plus the 40, so it's 220 just to ship it to you. Mega Fix It. Yeah, I'm here. So this is all reasonably clean. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can make it, clean as much as you want, obviously. But this has got to be nice and shiny in there. In general, I've not had good luck doing this with heat. Use my heat gun. I'm looking for about 300. It's 304. It's 305. Okay. Pretty hot. Just want to go a little more uniform. And then we're going to drop the bearing right on in, hopefully. There. Done. Click. Just click right in. That's one. Yeah, no paint bubbles there. Go to about 300 Fahrenheit, and it's a good enough Monday morning work day there. Okay, Dennis, if there's something I can do for you, you let me know. Okay, and if you got Facebook or Facebook Messenger, whatever it is, you can find me on Facebook. I don't know if I assume you guys have that down there. Find me on Facebook. Just send me a message, and then eventually we can talk if you need to know something. What do you think? Do this with heat too? Might as well, right? $250. Again, you can press these in cold or you can do them with heat. It's up to you. In one sense of the word, it's a little safer to do it with heat, but if you get it stuck, halfway, then you're going to be pressing it anyway. There. Ta-da! Brand new bearings are in. 200T. Okay. Let's get seals. Now, seals is a whole other ball game here because ideally you need a tool to do these seals. And I made this tool. Actually, technically, my brother made it for me, but these are the brand new Bakelite seals, and this tool I have just gently fits in there. Look at that. And if you notice, the brass is slightly smaller diameter than the actual seal, and you're less likely to bugger when you have that threaded rod go through there. You're not as likely to bugger that sealing surface. Now, these seals are not absolute. They're a little on the leaky side. For crank seals, the Bakelite seals are a little bit on the leaky side. They're not super good as far as sealing. I think the rubber seals are better in that way. Technically, these are lower friction. I think that was the idea, was that it was supposed to be lower friction, and therefore, let's see, is it still hot? Yeah, it's still pretty hot. And you cannot use a hammer on these. If you use a hammer on these, it just breaks. I wonder if it's still hot. How hot is it? 130. See, I'm so tempted to use a hammer on it, but you don't want to do that. Now, the longer the lever here, the more likely you are to get it straight. The shorter the lever, the more likely you are to screw it up. Washers and a nut. Yeah, well, the double lip rubber seals, yeah, you could, because an 026 seal from the flywheel side works. Flywheel side 026 crank seal works just fine. See, the more likely, like, if this is short and you're off by a ½ inch, you're off by a lot. But if it's long and you're off by a ½ inch, it's not so bad. So with a longer lever, you're much more likely to get this straight. Hold this end of the bolt here. I'll show you guys. It's just a piece of brass. And all you're doing is using some washers, nut, carriage bolt, and this is just turned down to fit just inside just inside the seal. And this, I've found, is the best way to do this. You're less likely to bugger something. Because I've done a bunch of these seals, and without an adapter like this, it just doesn't work good. You hit it with a hammer, it's gone. And each one of these seals is $8. Maybe I can go in there and square that off so the carriage bolt fits in there nice. Hey, Tim. Almost all the way down. It's close. Yeah, I wonder if I can just go in there and square that off so that the carriage bolt fits in there better. Should do. Problem with these seals, they're so fragile. If you're going to be doing, if you don't have the thing apart, then just don't even bother. If you've got the thing apart, then put these seals in, that's fine. But if you don't have the thing apart, then it's got to be flush, that's all. There. That's as good as that gets. Yeah, if you have the thing and it's not a part like this, use the rubber ones. It's much easier to stick them in. Just is. There's one. Over two. Again, a couple of washers, just a nut, nothing exciting here. This is 5/16 rod. Actually, you can use the rods that come in the toolkit that I sell. Same ones. Ah! Check that out. Just holding the end of the carriage bolt, that's all. This one does not need to be pressed in that far. You want it to be just in with the flush with the nubs. See the bumps? Flush with the bumps. A little bit on kilter. That's as close as that's going to get. So you've got to press it just a little further. Probably not. Oh, there it went. Okay. That's it. Jay Daniels, Roadrunner, and Tim. Welcome, guys. We're just doing the 200T, OEM seals, OEM gaskets. Yeah, makes you wonder how the factory does it. Exactly. 2 positioning pins. You can actually tap these back flush for working on the case, but then you want them obviously sticking out. And those positioning pins, the case bolts go there too. It's a good question. How does the factory do it? Shoot, I don't know. Jeez. Oh, speaking of, I'm working on his saws right now. Hey. I'm in the basement working on your saw right now. Live. Yep. Okay, I'll call you later. Bye. Yeah, I'm always curious to how they do this sort of stuff really quickly at the factory. There might be heat involved. There's very specific presses and jigs and whatnot. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Need this eventually. I need a couple of things out of the ultrasonic. I'll be back. needed a grommet. Actually, needed two of them. So, there's a couple of. See, this is an old seal. Get rid of that. Junk. Amazing. And some of this stuff comes out of the ultrasonic so incredibly nice. Other stuff is like, eh. Why did I put it in there? So, most important, this grommet here goes in here, and it just fits in just like that, which is slightly easier to make that one. I'm pretty sure if I had to directionalize this, the wire comes down. Yeah. Don't remember for sure, but okay. So this black wire is going to go through this way first before the ignition wire. Okay. That comes through like that. Then your ignition wire goes through the other direction. And this ain't easy, sorry. Ignition wire comes through. Did I forget something? Ignition wire comes through this hole. Hang on. It goes through there. Yep. Jay, you're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering, the white crankcase is now off the market. Still have the blue one available, if anybody's interested. This goes to this grommet. This grommet goes right there. Piece of cake, right? Did I forget something? Waiting where lives, waiting on parts. Yeah. Actually, I think Jay isn't waiting. Jay, you're right. You're waiting on 036 parts, but do you have enough stuff for the for your 288? Ah, gotta put it through there. Hmm. The problem is all this stuff, like, gotta go through there. There we go. And then can go on the positioning pins. And then you can push this through. Okay. So I'm not going to use goop on here. You can if you want. On these, it tends to get a little complicated. If the case is kind of messed up, then definitely use some goop. So 3 bonds 1184 is what I would use. All right. This is nice and cleaned up. Lose that. Piston pin bearing. So this is nice and cleaned up, and you can just put this in there. Now you want to go really easy here, because you don't want to bugger the seal. But this just presses in. There's no magic about this. You just gently press it home. That's it. It's home. Then you're going to bring this over, bring this together. You do gotta wonder how they do this at the factory. As long as you're sitting on your positioning pins, you're probably pretty close to good. Same deal here. Don't worry about the Woodruff key. Won't be an issue. Now you're together. Simple as that. Just hoping I didn't forget anything. Yeah. See? Okay. So now we start putting bolts in. The extra parts put you in good shape. Almost 2 now. Nice. That's always nice. Then you can build 2. Do some blue. Gonna do blue Loctite on these? Of course you guys do. Hang on. Be nice if it was open. you need tons of these either. Now the three most important are the one right around the crankcase, because that does all the active seal. Three. Keep going. I don't know why this one here actually looks like the bolt holes either is not lined up, but it may not have been cut, which is just, it's weird. For some reason I didn't see that. I gotta use the awl here to poke through. Yep, perfect. Okay. Posted a bumbling video about a plastic oil line. Okay. Yeah, the 036 oil lines I've heard are the bane of everybody's existence. Not going to put blue Loctite on that one. Because the gasket there is just going to wipe it off, so I'm not worry about it. But I will tighten those by hand. Calibrated arm. And these Weha, whatever it is, I do like it. You can get them at HL Supply. For those people that want to support the channel, the easiest way to do that is to either buy crank tools, buy my high top covers, or go to any of my bolt for bolt videos and look up the link to HL Supply. If you use that link, then it tracks you, and I get credit for anything that you buy. So, for like a month, which is awesome. So that helps me buy nifty new stuff, you know, and I can share with you guys. And I actually have an HL Supply order coming. It's just the oil line, by the way. I think it's a little bit on the late side. I spent like 4 days in Florida for the heck of it. I don't know. Not HL Supply's fault. Oil pump gear froze up, so replace the pump. Pick up second up. Yeah. This little rubber piece goes in there. And then the oil pump will go on. Right, and most videos are bumbling. Yeah. Well, my grandfather used to call it stumbling forward. That's what he called it. Yeah, he was right. So, Actually, before I put this on, what I should do is put the ignition coil in here, because that'll give me the length of that wire, and that wire's got to go underneath the oil pump. Right, little stuff. And this you can pull forward and back and whatever, not a big deal. Alright, where did that ignition coil go? Probably right in front of me. I don't see it. I thought I had it over here. Actually, I got one here. This will do. All nice and cleaned up. Got a couple of them, so no worries on that. So, per usual in these, installation is the reverse of the removal. I hate big people do that. Right, so that goes under pretty much like that. But the black wire goes on first. I'm going to click it in. Click it in there. Pull this back. Push that back. These are ignition coil screws, which are a little bit longer than the case bolts. Came loose from the switch. Nice. Tighten up, press it back on, go back to work. Right? Right, I can't put that, I can't click that on yet until I get this screwed down. Okay, good. Let me get the flywheel, and then we can put the flywheel on, and then we can do that, tighten that down, then we can move all the wires to whatever length we want, then we can work on that side. I do like my Rode microphone. I've had good luck with it, but I haven't been using it lately. Here I can't use it with this setup, so. Doing any timing advance or nothing on here. This is not that level build. You can absolutely fiddle around with that sort of thing and see where that takes you. I'll take it to proper torque later. Now we get a business card, which is about 10/1000ths of an inch. And that'll give us our gap between the flywheel. So move the flywheel around so the magnet grabs. And that'll give us our gap. And don't put either of them down hard initially, just gentle. And I wish these were bigger, like the 394, 395. It'd be nice if these were M5. You could torque them down a little harder. They'd be less likely to come loose. Whatever. All right, put the spade connector on. Not rubbing. You're gapped. Nice and tight, gapped. Gonna have a short block here anytime soon. Yeah? Okay, so now you can pull that back and pull this to wherever so that they're fully out. Okay. Definitely putting Loctite on these. I believe these actually extend into the crankcase, so you definitely need Loctite on those. The ignition wire goes underneath the oiler. And the oiler bolts are shorter. So when you do enough of these, you know, Jay, I think I'd rather work on these than the 36s. You know, I don't mind working on a 660. The 440 is not too bad. If I had my druthers, I'd rather work on a 372. Hose goes on. Now you're ready to rock there. Might as well put the dogs on. And chain catcher. Chain catcher's got a little bit of a bugger on it, but that's not really not bad. Here too. Tight. That way the dog doesn't go anywhere. And these are M5. Now, we're actually missing 2 crankcase bolts. They're actually up top here, but that's okay, we'll get to them later. Now, easiest thing here to do would be to put the head on, so let's work on that. In order to do that, next thing is actually take a really nice sharp razor blade and get these tabs, put them down flush. Piston pin bearing. This is $30 for those people that don't know. Piston pin bearing, 30 bucks. Give it a good clean. Inspect it. Make sure it's good. If it's good, you're good. Not a part you want to use aftermarket. You definitely want to use OEM here. So one of these gaskets is 200T, one is 020. The wider, lower transfers are 200T. Just carve it out and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Now, I'm forgetting a few things here. Before I put the head on, I actually have to clean up the head because unfortunately the head got a little buggered. We got to work on that. The other thing is I got to put a new piston in here. Brand new OEM. Pin bearing and one clip. These clips are a certified pain in the ass because they don't have a grabber. They don't have an ear. Okay, we'll make do. Alright, towards the exhaust. The exhaust is actually this way, the intake is up top here, so we want the exhaust that direction. Pin goes in. Now, pin clips. These are actually 378M X-Lite, XCELITE. And I ground little half moons in either side for doing the clips. These are, again, certifiably. Man, I wonder, can I pull this off of here? Yeah. Don't need the gasket on there yet. Good. Okay. So I can just focus on getting the clip right. Push, click, beauty. And the clip should basically spin, so, which it does. Click. Perfect. Now you can just go in there and grab later if you need to. I'll show you guys. I don't know if you can. I've shown these before, but there's a little half moon at the very tip. Focus on my hand. There. See that? Okay. Yeah, Jay, hope that works out for you. Brand new piston, brand new rings. The other clip is installed from the factory on the other side. You're not going to worry about that. So now we need to work on the head. Get that out of the ultrasonic here. the head got a little bit buggered. There's a little bit of transfer right down there. Which is really the only thing I'm going to be concerned about here, I think. So, sometimes you just get it with the wire wheel. Sometimes you got to use sandpaper. This wire wheel just shines things up so nice that I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Yep, you're right. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain here. It's not raining right this second, I don't think, but we've definitely had quite a bit of rain. Yeah, there's a chunk of transfer on here, and the easiest way to get this off is actually with sandpaper. That's all buggered. Look at that. Seal is done. Chuck that. I have to put some of this stuff away. I don't need my seal tool anymore, right? It's nice to unclog the desk, you know? There's the nut. Seal tool just goes on there. This is my bearing press. It's just half-inch threaded rod with a bunch of washers. Everybody's seen that. Old bearings, get rid of them. Bearing press I didn't use today because it's actually too big for these bearings. But you can of course adapt it with a smaller piece of threaded rod if you want. It's a 50 grit. I just use a drywall screw. That's all that this is. It's a drywall screw. It's got a slit in it. More or less shine on the other end. And what this does is it acts like a mandrel for some sandpaper. And I've used this a lot. Works reasonably well. Not awesome. Don't need it to work awesome. Just need to work. Right around just like that. Crank this down on the speed. Mastermind has a great video on how to do this. Tim, yes, the straw that I'm fixing is for a tree guy. A one-man show, actually. not even there. Nice. Go in here, clean a little of the carbon out. Tear some of that off, keep going. That's beautiful. I'm going to go wash it. Perfect. Okay. That's beautiful. Yeah, Tim, I'm really not taking on work at this point. I mean, this is a friend, a guy that I've known for a long time now, and he finally sent me some saws to work on. But I'm really not looking for work. I've got way too much to do. I do like hanging out with you guys, though. That's the thing. It's really about hanging out with you more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? All right. Blue Loctite on the bolts here. Again, you can go crazy cleaning and polishing and all that stuff, but this saw is probably not going to be worthy of that. It is perfect inside here. There's no more pieces or anything like that. If there's pieces, then we got a problem. We like having. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. So these ring ends go towards the intake here. And there's a positioning pin. So that you know. Yeah, so there's pins, so there's directionality, so you know where you usually want the ring positioning pins to be towards the intake side, not towards the exhaust side. No lube. Don't worry. Hang on. You're way ahead of me. Hang on. He's too excited. I think he's too excited. Two cycle. It's going to go in the main bearings there. You can bring this down to bottom dead center if you like. Gasket, come on. Come on, gasket. There we go. Need to get two of these things started. Okay, my circlips are in. Don't got to worry about that. That's good. Clean up the head, brand new piston. You got Loctite on all these bolts. Gentle. Everybody forgets. You can go back in here and lube things. You don't gotta. Hang on. Watch. Let's see. Hoping that I put this in correct, that's all. Okay. We're going to check it. 1, 2, crossways, 3, 4. Nice. Okay. Now what you can do is hit this with 2 cycle. Because you can see the rings. You can do it on the exhaust too. Go completely insane. Better, yes, okay, fine. Yeah. They make you feel better? The whole stinking thing is looped. Okay. I need to torque that before I forget it. We don't want to forget that. Nylon is the best for this. It just is. Nylon rope, the best for a piston stop. Where's my torque wrench? Oh dear. There it is. off, pull it out. You got it. All right. Another exhaust gasket. Exhaust gaskets. Unfortunately, I have to open a brand new thing here. Pretty sure I got more of those somewhere. Okay, 200T exhaust gasket. Now these are also M5. Go into my Stihl. Oh, do I have them here? Specifically, M5 flanged Stihl. Work. Now these actually hold to the gasket. So brand new muffler. Brand new muffler, brand new gasket. While that's still loose, put the gas tank on here. Put this on first. This is impulse line. This is actually R5 impulse line. They have R3 on here stock. I don't know why that's not what it actually calls for. These boots have to be pristine. They are not cheap. They are expensive. Line it up. Another part I would love to know how they did this at the factory. Good. This impulse line has to go up and through. There's actually a squarish hole. They've made it square. Impulse line, and you can get to the exhaust bolts from here anyway, so heck, we've almost got this thing together. There you go. This part. Here's your holder. This just holds the rubber on. It's actually a very robust part too, amazingly. Gas tank. Same bolts as the crankcase bolts, by the way. Yeah, some of the aftermarket parts are okay. Like an aftermarket chain catcher is fine, but a lot of the aftermarket parts. And what's the really crappy thing is you cannot get to the head bolts without taking this whole assembly off. That's kind of crappy because you can't go back and check your head bolts regularly. But you really should be checking your exhaust bolts. They have a tendency to get lost. fuel line. Again, not an easy thing to get it in here, but it's quite doable. Tuck it in little by little. There we go. Nice fresh fuel line. That helps a lot. Fuel filter. Grab that there. Okay. Good. OEM muffler, brand new, yeah. Brand new OEM oil cap. Nice. And let's get the gas cap in here somewhere. Okay, there's the gas cap. Ta-da. This we already had on the tank, so don't need it. This we'll get to in a minute. I guess we can put it on now. Can we put it on now? Oh, no. I need two things. I need the upper mount and I need the lower mount. Mount. Not going to put this on tight. I'll tighten it up in a minute because the ground has to go there, but we want everything kind of in place. There is bumper. How do you sort 288 decals? No. There's Sugar Creek Supply or something like that that has decals. Brand new OEM. And you don't need to torque this down that hard. Just gentle, and it's fine. Top handle. This one's in okay shape. Get rid of this. Bumper. Okay. So what I like to do on these is I put the impulse line in the nipple on there first, if I can, because it's kind of a pain in the neck. And then you're going to do the boot through. Right here, can you see it? The line this line goes right up, and it really has to seat all the way. I worry about these things falling off, and it's because there's actually no bulb there at the end. There should be some type of nipple at the end that actually holds it, but whatever. Okay. So now, once that's on, now you can pull the boot through. And you can do this with a string, or I just start working it through with a set of hemostats. You can do this string thing. Just go in here with a set of hemostats and pull, and work it around. It comes through. Okay, now I think it's Sugar Creek Supply or something like that. And there's this round piece that goes in there, and the outer ring, just the support ring. There should be a tank vent here somewhere. Then should be a throttle wire here somewhere. And if there's not, I got one. Pull there's supposed to be a throttle wire that hangs down there. Short. There's an M5 screw that goes in there that's short. This is short enough. Let's find out. No. Really? M5, but shorter. Did I not have my M5? I did. It's right over here. That'll work. Good. That's not going to go in. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put that in. Okay. This will do. Alright, guys, I have to put all that together. Fine. Nice. Throws me off, like if I'm missing something, like a throttle wire. Kind of throws me off if I'm missing that. You know what I mean? You get in a groove, you want to, you know, do stuff and take you out of your groove. Good. Chippies. That. Yeah, hanging in, you know. Just trying to finish up a 200T here, which I don't know if I'll get it popped, but we can certainly try. Little screw right there. This is broken. Chuck that. Pop that out. Get rid of the line. This should just well, the high screw was out a lot. There's your throttle. So I'm going to throw that right in here. Okay. Still can't stop the pops. I'm working, believe me. Yeah, Chippies, go for it, man. Just go for it, like I do. You know. This comes. on there. As you're pushing it in, it just kind of sits on there. Choke lever needs to be on like that. That last, actually. Fuel line goes up and under. Just kind of clicks in there. Fuel line's in. Throttle line choke. Fresh new triangle here. Now I need the shutter. Just use this piece here. Clean. We'll use that one. And this goes like that. And we can go like this. That's nuts. You guys are supposed to remind me of the silly stuff. I knew I was forgetting something. There. Now I got to do the front. So this goes into this spade connector here. Click. This wire goes there. And then we'll put the AV screws in there. Let's see. Let's put this. Two screws I want to be hand tightened for sure. AV screws, which are in the bag here somewhere. The AV mount screws are easy to identify. These funky ones. This one over here I can finally put in. there. This spur actually looks okay. I got a new one because one of them didn't look so good. Right, okay. Can't put those on yet because there is a cover. On. The lower cover. Alright, I'm going to have to steal it off of here. Got the upper cover here. I need the lower cover, this part, which I'm going to steal off of this one, I think. Yeah, steal, sorry. Clutch. Actually, that spur is pretty nice too. Just need to pull this cover off. We'll clean that real quick. Okay. For the moment. Short ones, 10-4. Take this starter off so swap this real fast just to get it. Dirty, but it's okay. Pretty much start to finish 200T here, guys. Fresh plug, brand new. Just need a clutch cover. That's it. A little bit of True Fuel. Not even going to touch the carburetor. Let's see. Here's your pippity pop. How's that, guys? Pop, pop, vroom, vroom. All right. I've had a long day. I'm going to call it. I think that's pretty good. Need to get a clutch cover put together, but whatever. I've got this other one here that's fairly complete, but still going to need some parts. I mean, just in time to have your lunch. Yeah, everybody go have your lunch. This is good. It runs. Very happy about that. I'll do a little bit of testing and then ship it off to Tracy. So, yeah, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your day. Thanks so much for watching. MassChainsawParts.com. What else? Shoot me an email. It's in the beginning of the live chat. I put my email in there. If anybody needs any crank tools or 288 top covers. Later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.